Hi everyone, this is Gracie from the Dig team, and this is video 8 of the Dig It data tutorial series. In this video, we're going to get oriented with ArcGIS Online, and we're going to try and recreate this map that we made in CodeApp, where we plot these individual weather stations and display information about average temperatures using color. So once you navigate to ArcGIS Online, you're going to click Sign In. And depending on what organization you're using to sign in, you're going to type that in the organization login. So I will be using UCSC and then click Continue. Then I will go through my organization's login. And once that all goes through, I will be redirected to my organization's landing page. And so the way that ArcGIS Online works is that you can use it as a mapping tool, but it is also kind of this database where other people publish their maps, and then you can add these published maps to your map, so it becomes a kind of really collaborative environment. And so first thing I'm going to show you is how to use the map tab. So when we click on the map tab in the top toolbar, it will open up this new viewer for us. And so as I was explaining in the last video, when we add data to a GIS project, it's added as a layer. And so one of the main tabs on the left-hand toolbar is the Layers tab. The base map is always shown here in the map viewing section. Right now we're using this gray base map, and that can be changed by going to the Base Map tab on the left-hand toolbar. And so currently it says we're using simple. You can choose any of these that you want to. They're basically all free to use in ArcGIS. So for example, if I want to use an imagery one that uses remote sensing satellite data, I can click this one. If I'm more interested in something related, maybe something socio-political, I would want to choose something that has human geography, as they named it here, with labels for states and major cities. I'm going to leave it as human geography for now. And then to add our weather station data, we're going to go back to the Layers panel, and we're going to click Add. And we can see here that when you click Add Layer, it navigates you to a folder called My Content. And so before we can actually add our weather station data to this map, we have to add it to our content on ArcMaps Online. So it's not like in CodeUp where we can just drag and drop the file. You actually have to go through the steps of uploading the file to your account first. And so to do that, I'm going to go back to kind of that landing page. So I'm going to click on my profile in the top right corner. I'm going to click My Profile. And once here, I can see all of the items that I've made. And so to add something else, I want to click on this button in the top toolbar that says Content. When we get to this page, make sure that we are in the tab that says My Content. And so to add something to your content, you're going to go to this button that says New Item. And when you click that, now you'll have the option to drag and drop your file. And so if you scroll down below, you can see all the different types of data that you can import natively. So for our purposes, I'm just going to drag the city met stations from my download folder to this box, and I'm going to drop it there. And so if we recall correctly, this is the city met stations data that is linked in the Dig It tutorial worksheet that is linked in the description. And so once you upload this, you can specify whether you want it to be just the sheet added or you want to add it as a hosted layer. And so the hosted layer is something that can be accessed by other people, and you can use it in multiple maps, and it allows you to do a little bit more customization. So I'm going to add this as a hosted layer. So I'm going to make sure that it's the first option, then click next. Next, it will show you all the fields that are in your data. So these correspond to the column names. So we have city, state, station ID, station name. We want to make sure we have latitude and longitude. Then we have our elevation, start and stop dates, and our temperature data. So that all looks great to me. We're going to ignore everything else on this page and then click next. Next, it'll show the location settings. So here you can choose from a drop-down of what type of coordinates we're using. Here we're using latitude and longitude, so we'll just want to make sure that's selected. And then when we get to here, you just want to make sure that the field types match up. So this says latitude and latitude, longitude and longitude. Then we'll click next. Here you can rename the title. So I'm just going to call this City Weather Station, and it will be saved to whatever folder you specify. I'm just going to give it to my general one. Here you can tag your data with a bunch of different categories, and so that is more useful if you're publishing something. It'll be easier for people to find it. And then you can add a summary if you want. I'm going to leave those blank for now because this is just an example. And then I'm going to click save. Once your city weather station data is uploaded, you will go to this kind of layer summary page. And so you can look at the metadata about it, and then in the right-hand side, you have all of these different options for how you can use it. So we want to use it to make a map. So what we can do is click Open in Map Viewer. And now it will open up this map where we can scroll around and see that our weather stations have been added as these little red dots on our map. And if we look at the layers tab of our map, we can see that we now, instead of it being blank, we have city weather station, and we can toggle it on and off using the eye. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at the whole map. Right, so now we have our location data added into the map, and now we can work on customizing the appearance and adding in our temperature data. And so the way that we do that is in this properties toolbar on the right-hand side. So first we can edit the layer style. And I would like to make these dots just a little bit bigger. And so in this symbology section, I'm going to click Edit Layer Style. Here we have the location set as a single symbol. That's good. That means we'll get a single dot. Then I'm just going to click the Style options so that I can customize it. So under the symbol style, I will click on the little edit pencil button. And here we currently have it as a basic point. And you can change it. There's a bunch of different customizations available for us to choose from. I think I'm going to go with just this basic circle. So once I've changed it to a circle by selecting it from this menu, I'm going to click the little back arrow. I can adjust the size with the slider here. That's of course a little bit too big. I think around 15 or 20 is probably going to be fine for our purposes. And then we have the fill color here, which can be customized. I'm going to leave it as orange for now because ultimately we want to make our colors representative of the maximum average temperature. So once I've changed it to a circle like that, I'm going to click exit. Then I'm going to go back. So once I'm back on the styles panel, I'm going to add our weather data by looking at the choose attributes panel. This will allow us to choose which fields we add to our map. And so I'm going to click the plus field button. And here it shows all of the columns from our datasheet. So I'm going to plot the average maximum temperature again. And I'm going to do that by selecting the little check marks next to it. Then I'm going to click add. And now we will get a bunch of different options of how we can visualize these differences in temperature values. So the first one that it shows us is using the size of the dot to represent the average maximum temperature. So the dot for Miami is the largest with the highest maximum temperature. Boston is the smallest. This is a cool way to represent it, but when we have cities that are close in proximity to each other, the stations are like overlapping, it becomes a little bit difficult to see. And so what I would like to do is use the counts and amounts version that says color in parentheses next to it. And so that's the second one in our panel. And when I click that, it will change our dots to have a different color based on the average maximum temperature at each site. And so this has made our dots rather small again. So what we can do is click Style Options. Click the Edit button next to Symbol Style. And then we're going to change that back to 20. Okay, and so once we've changed the size, we can look at the little key that has been made here for us, the little legend in the left-hand corner of the map. So you can see that the dots represent city weather stations. The color represents the average maximum temperature, with the darker blues being a warmer temperature, lighter blues being a cooler temperature. We can change the color ramp by clicking again on this edit button next to symbol style, and then clicking on the little pencil button next to colors. We can choose from a variety of preset color ramps. And so since we're thinking about maximum and warm temperatures, I would probably tend to think of using a warmer color ramp. And so here, I like the colors of this one, but I would prefer that Miami, the hottest one, be the darkest red, and Boston be the lightest. So you can always flip the direction of the color ramp by clicking the color ramp flip button here. So once I click that, I can see that the darker red here in the southern part of the country and the lighter reds in the north, where the average temperature is lower. Great, and so I'm pretty happy with how these dots look and how they display the temperature data. And so I'm going to click done with that. I'm going to click done again, and now I'm going to look back at the map. I might customize my base map a little bit just so to clean it up, because I want to ultimately add labels to each of these weather stations. So I'm going to scroll on the base maps. I think I will just choose an imagery one for now just to see how that looks. Great. And so I want to add labels, as I said, and so what I would like to do is go on the right-hand side of the toolbar to this one that looks like a little label tag and click Labels. Enable Labels should be checked on. Then we're going to click Add Label Class. And so once I do that, it automatically has selected our label field to be city. If I click the drop-down menu, I could change it to the station name, or I could change it to the station ID number, whatever we want to use. I'm going to leave it as city for now. Then you can change the label style by clicking on this little drop-down menu next to it. And here you could change the font, the size, and also the placement. So right now it has above center, so it's above the center of the dots. If I change it to below center, it puts them below the dots. And then below right, below left, whatever. So I kind of like maybe let's see what above left looks like. We'll just go straight with above center. And we will leave that like that. So now we have our labels, we have our color ramp showing the temperature values, and we want to just make sure that we're always displaying our legend so that we can interpret the map. And so to pull the legend back up, we go to the left-hand toolbar and click legend. And now we can see again that the dark red corresponds with higher average temperature, lighter red corresponds to lower average temperature. And so now we can kind of compare this map that we made. It looks pretty similar to the one that we made on CodeUp. However, the benefit of using ArcGIS Online is that we can add a lot more layers to our maps, especially from other organizations that are already like pre-made and ready to go. And so in our next video, we're going to take a look at how to do that.